This is News Channel 20 at 6.
I just saw a story the other day showing that if you rank all 50 states across categories like education levels and household incomes and race and religion, the one state that most closely mirrors America as a whole is Illinois.
The President of the United States. Good evening, everyone. Right now, President Barack Obama is on his way to California after spending the day in Springfield.
The president arrived on Air Force One this morning, stopping for food at the feed store before heading to the state capitol to speak to lawmakers and then going to the Hoagland Center for a second speech. After that, it was back to the airport, leaving on Air Force One. Now, we have team coverage of President Obama's visit to the capital city tonight, but we begin with Jen Sullivan, who has the breakdown of the message tonight. Jen?
For 60 minutes, President Barack Obama addressed the General Assembly. Now, his speech was a mix of sentimental reflection as well as a few jokes. And then he turned to advice on how lawmakers can work together to put Illinois on the right track. Now, the president's visit comes at a time where the state is in financial turmoil. 8 months into the fiscal year and still no state budget. Today's address was about outlining what he thinks is key to bipartisan reform. Now, while he didn't lecture lawmakers, he did touch on key issues facing Illinois, such as union reform and pensions. Now, that was met with much applause from Democrats, but his overall message was about working together to achieve a common goal.
We've always gone through periods when our democracy seems stuck. And when that happens, we have to find a new way of doing business. We're in one of those moments. We've got to build a better politics, one that's less of a spectacle and more of a battle of ideas, one that's less of a business and more of a mission, one that understands the success of the American experiment rests on our willingness to engage all our citizens in this work. And that starts by acknowledging that we do.
President Obama outlined his advice to achieve what he calls, quote, better politics. He called on lawmakers to reduce the influence of money in politics, change how we redistrict, and then make voting easier. And we'll have much more on the president's speech coming up tonight on News Channel 20 at 10. For now, we're live outside of the state capitol. Jen Sullivan, News Channel 20.
Where I've got an opportunity to find some common ground, that doesn't make me a sellout to my own party.
State lawmakers weighing in tonight on President Obama's speech. News Channel 20 State House reporter Jordan Abadea live at the Capitol tonight with what they're saying. History in the making. That is what we heard from practically every lawmaker on either side of the aisle today. They were just happy to sit in those chambers today and witness history. The president's message about overcoming partisan divides and working together to create a better government for the people of Illinois and really the people of this country really resonating with lawmakers as they're grappling with the 222-day-long budget impasse that we are now facing. His message, one of, I started here. He mentioned his very freshman days at the state Senate and then talked about how he ascended to the presidency, and one of his regrets is really having a more partisan government. So today we heard from one freshman lawmaker on the Republican side who represents Central Illinois and really much of Springfield, and today she says that message resonated with her. And also Senator Kwame Raoul, who took over Senator Obama's seat in the state Senate, he also said that he was very happy to show Obama his old office today and meet with him again. And he said that he was very happy to hear the president's message. Take a listen to what they had to say.
Well, it reminded me of his words to me my first day down here, his veto session of 2004, where we had a chance for a one-on-one conversation, and what was his office became my office, where he says, take time to reach across the aisle, to get to know your colleagues, have dinner with them, have drinks with them, reach out to people from other parts of the state. That effort to learn about your commonality and bridge your differences will benefit you when you least expect it. And it seemed like he came back with that same type of message today, that we shouldn't be divided as at least we're perceived to be now.
He could make some very personal points, you know, about some of the things that he did while in Springfield, some of the bills, relationships he had. You know, he obviously mentioned a lot of different people's names who served when he was serving. And so I think he was able to really make the speech relatable to the General Assembly.
Senate President John Cullerton, who actually invited President Obama back to the Illinois State House to give this speech, sent out his reaction in a statement today that says in part, quote, "As this chapter in his uniquely American story begins to draw to a close, I am left inspired by a message I first heard from a young community organizer seeking a seat in the Illinois Senate, that if we are to have a better country, we must never stop believing in a better country." And so Senate President John Cullerton today, and really everyone in the State House, really absorbing the president's message, and it is one that really overrode the politics that we so often see here at the State House. We'll see if that inspiration carries into tomorrow when the House is in session. For now, live at the Capitol, Jordan Abadea, News Channel 20.
We just approached our national politics the same way the American people approach their daily lives, at the workplace, at the Little League game, at church or the synagogue, with common sense and a commitment to fair play and basic courtesy, that there is no problem that we couldn't solve together.
The State House wasn't the only place President Obama spoke today. News Channel 20's Lindsay Hess live outside the Hoagland Center now for us with more on why the Commander-in-Chief stopped there. Lindsay.
It's been about 2 hours since the president left the Hoagland Center, and if you look behind me, you can see that the barricades are being taken down. The tent that was set up just outside the door also being taken down. All of that is being loaded onto the truck. Now, we've been here since about 11 o'clock this morning, and that's when people started lining up at the door to get in and to hear the president speak. Now, these people are President Obama's supporters, his volunteers from over the years, people in Springfield who helped campaign for the president. Those people included Springfield Alderman Doris Turner, a former alderman, Frank McNeil, several county Democratic chairmen, and even some Lanphier High School basketball players. We heard there were about 200 people, standing room only, and there was high energy music playing. We're told the speech today here at the Hoagland was unlike most of his speeches. Well, he spoke mostly about business-related, government, political types of things at the Capitol. Here it was fun, and it was just speaking to his friends. So Senator Dick Durbin actually introduced the president, and here's what he had to say.
I've been very proud of what he's done to help our country and glad to be part of it. As a senator from Illinois today, he came back to remember his time in the Illinois State Senate and to say thank you to a lot of supporters and friends who stood by him in the early days.
Noticed several children walking into the Hoagland Center carrying their instruments. So just a few hours after the president makes his historic stop in the capital city, it is back to business for the city of Springfield. Live in Springfield, Lindsay Hess, News Channel 20.
Thank you, Lindsay. And the president left the capital city a little more than an hour, close to an hour and a half, 4:48 wheels up for him. You can see him boarding Air Force One, waving goodbye, leaving for San Jose, California. The White House says the president will spend the night and attend political fundraisers in Silicon Valley tomorrow before leaving to Los Angeles for more fundraisers and to tape an appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres Show on Friday.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Storm Team 20 Chief Meteorologist Cheryl Lemke. It's been a very cold, very wintry day today, as once again, central Illinois has been stuck in the deep freeze. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in the upper teens and lower 20s across the region, including 20 degrees right now for Lincoln, 18 for Litchfield, and right now, Jacksonville reporting some light snow and 21 degrees. And when you factor in the winds, it feels even worse. The wind chills have slipped into the single numbers and the low teens, and they'll stay very cold through tonight. Doppler radar indicating some light stray snow flurries still around the area, but for the most part, the snows will be tapering off for this evening. Basically expecting mostly cloudy skies for a good part of the evening, and temperatures slowly slipping back into the mid-teens by midnight. Another cold one tonight, but I'll tell you what, there's a big warming trend coming our way for next week. I'll have all the details coming up in just a few moments.
Thank you, Cheryl. Coming up next, what capital city residents are saying tonight after President Obama makes a surprise stop downtown.
Tight itinerary. The president made some unannounced stops in downtown Springfield today to the amazement of customers at a local eatery.
It was a huge surprise. News Channel 20's Brett Baldick stopped by the feed store today just minutes after the president left.
Well, those working at the feed store had only minutes to prepare for the presidential visit. They say it was no coincidence that his stop for lunch today was just across the way from where he announced his campaign to become president. It was a typical lunch hour at the feed store, that is, until the commander-in-chief made his way downtown.
And as we were walking down here, the Secret Service stopped us and wanded us, and we're like, we're just going to the feed store to pick up lunch, and they're like,
the president, hungry for lunch, forced some to make last-minute changes to their own lunch break.
So I said, maybe we should get something to eat here and stay and see if maybe he is going to show up.
And that's just what President Obama did, to the shock of employees inside.
How are you? Just about 30 minutes before we arrived, the Secret Service let us know they were going to have to sweep all the staff and the patrons.
Manager Daniel Richardson helped put together the president's order.
He had a turkey and cheddar on a wheat bread and a cup of the beef barley soup.
A relaxed meal for what Richardson says was a very relaxed president.
He was very friendly, very charismatic. It was a good time for everybody.
he stopped and talked to everybody along the line, and he took selfies with people and introduced himself, and we introduced ourselves, and he said he was cold and good to be back in Springfield.
Man, that sounds good. And what kind of cake are you having?
A special day, even for the youngest crowd. A moment even the adults say they will never forget.
He acted like he was just thrilled to be here and talking to us.
He was happy to meet us and used our names, like, oh, hi Beth.
Hi, Katie.
Well, the manager at the feed store tells me they often have lawmakers stop by for lunch, and President Obama was a regular when he was a state senator. Employees knew there was a small chance the president would stop today and were amazed that it actually happened. Back to you.
Okay, thanks. We hear he had the beef barley soup. Well, taking a live look at the capital city, here's the state capitol off in the distance there. Chief Meteorologist Cheryl Lemke's in next with a check of that bitter cold forecast. But first, here are today's closing market numbers.
It's the Green Hyundai Cam at Lake Springfield Marina. You're watching ABC News Channel 20. Now, your Storm Team 20 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Cheryl Lemke.
And a good Wednesday evening to you. This is a live view from Springfield. And we still have some cloudy, gray, overcast skies out there right now. And there's been a few scattered snow flurries as well. As we check on the almanac, we have been shivering all day long. We started off at a mere 7 degrees earlier this morning. Then we only managed to climb up to 21 degrees this afternoon. So the temperatures remain about 15 degrees colder than normal for this time of the year. We've also been tracking a little upper air disturbance that's been zipping in across western sections of Illinois. It did produce some very light snow showers earlier today, but most of the snow stayed west of Springfield, although we did pick up a few flurries during the downtown area, a few flurries right here at our studios here on Cook Street. So just some stray flurries. Most of the action, though, again, has been west and south of us, and now most of it's coming to an end. But to see a few more light flurries tonight certainly cannot be ruled out. Temperature-wise, we're stuck in the teens and the 20s right now, including 15 degrees for Danville, 19 right now for Champaign, 20 for Lincoln, elsewhere 20 for Effingham, and right now Taylorville at 19. Luckily, the winds are not as bad as what they were yesterday, but still we're seeing sustained winds around 5 to about 10 miles per hour, and those winds do put a little bit of bite in the air. Right now, it feels like it's in the single numbers and low teens. So if you're going to be venturing out tonight, you'll definitely want to dress in layers and guard yourself because it will be a very nippy evening for sure across central Illinois. Now, again, we've got the cloudy skies right now, more cloudy skies expected through tonight, and perhaps a stray snow flurry certainly cannot be ruled out. But for the most part, as we go through the overnight hours, those clouds will start to thin out, and things should be improving somewhat for tomorrow. At least it will be a dry morning commute heading in around Springfield, Champaign, and Effingham, and we'll see more sunshine building throughout the course of the afternoon as well, so a quiet winter's day for tomorrow. After that, though, by Friday, all bets are off. Here comes another weather disturbance moving through. It will likely spread in some light snow showers, we think, for Friday. Nothing really heavy as far as accumulations, perhaps close to an inch of snowfall, though, by Friday afternoon. Then that system clears out. And the stage will be set for Saturday such that we'll see more sunshine returning for Saturday, only to have a bigger storm system, though, moving in on Sunday. And the system that's coming in for the back half of the weekend will likely produce several inches of snowfall. But until then, not too bad. Tonight, they're looking at mostly cloudy skies early on, but the snow showers will be tapering off once again, and overnight lows dropping down to 10 degrees. Tomorrow, something we haven't seen for a while, some sunshine, with highs climbing all the way up to 25 degrees for tomorrow. And our Peerless 7-day planner showing again that little weak system coming in for Friday, which will likely produce close to an inch of snowfall then. Then Saturday, not too bad, but then it really turns kind of ugly on Sunday and Monday. So this would be for Valentine's Day and for Monday for President's Day. A bigger storm system moves through. And at this point, the forecast models are kind of all over the place. But there is a chance for maybe 2 to upwards to 6 inches of snowfall possible for the back half of the weekend. So we'll be watching the situation very closely. Of course, we'll be fine-tuning that forecast as we approach the weekend. But something else of note, definitely a warming trend later on for next week, with temperatures back into the 40s by Tuesday and Wednesday. John?
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Listen, the president returning to Springfield on the same day you've got 2 teams returning to the hardwood after meeting in November.
That's right. He's a big basketball fan, John, and I'll tell you what, both these teams have been state ranked at one point this year. Now only one can move on to sectionals next week. We'll hear from the Athens Warriors and more next in sports.
Now, sports with Donnie Tillman.
Good evening, everyone. The road to Redbird Arena continues yet again tonight as area small school girls basketball teams look to earn a spot in their respective regional championship games tomorrow night. Now, tonight, a few schools compete in regional semifinal action. In Class 2A at the Pittsfield Regional, Beardstown and Camp Point Central are on the court right now as we speak. Now, later tonight, Williamsville meets the host Pittsfield at 7:30. Both winners of tonight's regional semifinals will square off for the regional championship tomorrow night. Other regional semifinals taking place tonight. Carlinville has Piasaw as taking on the Lady Cavs as they face Southwestern. Winner of that game gets the winner of Gillespie and Greenville tomorrow night for the title. All right, elsewhere at the Warrensburg-Latham regional semis, the winner of Argenta-Oriena and Monticello will take on either the host Cardinals or Westville in Thursday night's regional final. Elsewhere, St. Joe Ogden and Tolono Unity meet tonight as well. And in Class 1A, the winner of St. Teresa and LSA will meet either Lexington or Fisher at the St. T regional final tomorrow. Also tomorrow night in Pleasant Plains, Havana and Athens will battle for the right to advance to sectionals next week. It's a rematch of 2 teams that met in Athens back on November 30th. Havana won that contest 65-60 in overtime. Now, both teams were impressive Tuesday night on the court. Athens says it will rely on its previous postseason experience when they take the court tomorrow night.
We're very excited. You know, this is I think our 3rd year in a row in the regional championship title game. So, you know, we talk about postseason a lot in our program, and that's what we bank our season on, getting better every day. So hopefully we can come out and give our best effort on Thursday night.
I think having that, postseason maturity really helps this year. Last year we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just running on, adrenaline and energy. But I feel like, yeah, it's definitely going to help us this year.
On a day like today, you probably wouldn't think about baseball, but today, the Big Ten released its baseball coaches poll. After finishing with 50 wins and winning the Big Ten Conference a year ago, the Fighting Illini were picked to finish 5th in the Big Ten this upcoming season. Michigan is tabbed as the preseason favorite this year, followed by Maryland, Indiana, and Iowa. The Fighting Illini also placed 3 players on the Big Ten Players to Watch list. Dan Hartlip's crew opens up the regular season a week from Friday in Louisiana.
I long for the days of that video.
Yes, it does not feel like baseball weather right now outside.
All right, we can hope, though, soon.
Please, cross your fingers.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
President Obama waving goodbye, now back on Air Force One and on the way to California after spending today in the capital city.
The president arrived at the Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport and made a surprise stop at the feed store in downtown Springfield before addressing state lawmakers at the Capitol.
Now we continue to analyze the president's visit in just a moment on News Channel 20 with Adam Reif and Jordan Abadeh at the State House. We'll also have more on Fox Springfield News at 9 and News Channel 20 at 10 o'clock.
Okay, final check of the forecast.
And we
cold.
still have some very cold conditions over the next couple of days, especially now on Friday, a chance for some light snowfall. A bigger storm system, though, comes in Sunday and Monday that will likely bring several inches worth of snowfall. Again, very chilly through the upcoming weekend, but then some 40s come back by Tuesday and Wednesday.
I was live out there at the State House, and it was cold standing around.
Did you have any warmers or anything?
You know, I didn't want to go with gloves, but I did because I finally gave in. I wanted to show my Minnesota strong because that's where I'm from, but I finally had to put on some warmers.
Minnesota's smart.
It was just
That does it for us. Our President Obama coverage continues over at the state capitol in just a few moments with Adam Wright from Florida and the Bay. Have a great night.